What if someone told you you could live to be 120? Would you believe him? What if he told you the Bible guaranteed it? All you needed to do was follow his rules and buy his products. Would you do it? What if you invested 20 years of your life in him? What if he tested his substances on your child? What if your child became brain damaged as a result? Meet Dr. Tyler Belknap, a fast-talking Texas admin turned health guru. At the helm of a vast health food and supplement empire, he has established himself as the authority on nutrition and longevity. But what his followers don't know is that his products are laced with bizarre psychoactive substances from genetically modified plants developed in his very own secret lab. No wonder his customers can't stop using them. Tyler Belknap will stop at nothing to keep his edge in the market, even if it means experimenting on children. Chasing 120, a story of food, faith, fraud, and the pursuit of longevity, a novel from the pen of political cartoonist Monty Wolverton, is an easy and entertaining read full of rich characters and intrigue. It hits home in a world filled with all kind of hucksterism and offers a glimpse of what can happen when GMO technology falls into the wrong hands. Chasing 120 by Monty Wolverton. Get your copy today at www.ptm.org/120 or on Amazon.com. Do you think you have energy problems in your home? Do you feel better when you're away than when you're home? Joey Korn is a global leader in the world of dowsing who specializes in personal energy clearing and space clearing. He can help you create an ideal energy environment in your home no matter where you live in the world. Learn about his remote spiritual house cleaning services and much more at www.dowsers.com. You can get Joey's book, Dowsing, A Path to Enlightenment, as well as other dowsing books and tools, Kabbalah books, and Walter Russell books. Joey's work is really amazing. Go to dowsers.com right now. That's DOWSERS.com or call 1-877-DOWSING. That's 1-877-369-7464. Modern Esoteric, Beyond Our Senses by Brad Olson, consummates the lifeology story about where humanity originates. It is the lost continents, the primitive wisdom, the mythos of creation, and the rethinking of ancient history as we are taught in academia. There is much more to the story than what we have been told. As this is the first book in the Esoteric series, Modern Esoteric starts at the beginning of time and accelerates up to this modern age. Future Esoteric is book 2 in the series and takes a forward-looking position ahead of today with an open and honest examination of the ET issue and various unexplained phenomena. To discover the writings of author Brad Olson, visit www.bradolson.com. That's www.bradolson.com.
Little children aren't the only ones afraid of the dark. Millions of soldiers return from war zones with PTSD, anger, frustration, fear, and loneliness, much of which surfaces during the darkness of the night. You have the chance to change the lives of these American heroes. Songs and Stories for Soldiers.us provides free MP3 players for these men and women. With a list of 3 million songs in 16 different styles, 100,000 audiobooks, and 30,000 old-time radio programs, every veteran can find something to soothe and comfort them at no cost. All our players contain an 8-hour audio program designed to help veterans fall asleep. With 1,500 plus vets now participating, it's our goal to deliver 10,000 audio players this year. Go to our website at songsandstoriesforsoldiers.us. Help us help a veteran make it through the night.
The Alien Cosmic Expo will be held in Brantford, Ontario, June 26, 27, 28, and will feature 24 internationally acclaimed experts and researchers of UFOs, crop circles, alien abductions, and much more in this 3-day 2015 summer Canadian event. Experts in the field of extraterrestrials and alien encounters, out-of-body experiences, past life regression, soul reading, psychic, and mediumship will all be presented with professionalism, integrity, and credibility, making the Alien Cosmic Expo the largest event of its kind in Canada for 2015. The exhibitor hall will feature a spectacular lineup of gifted mediums, psychics, astrologers, channelers, aura photography, healers, as well as books, DVDs, alternative health products, crystals, jewelry, and much more, completing the venue with something for everyone. For all information and to purchase your tickets for the Alien Cosmic Expo, go to www.aliencosmicexpo.com. That's www.aliencosmicexpo.com.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. I am Rob McConnell. We're coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Live and around the world on the X Zone Broadcast Network and the Starcom Radio Network. Worldwide toll-free 800-610-7035. My email address is xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On all social media sites, X Zone Radio TV. And if you'd like to listen to the X Zone 724 365, that can be done at www.xzoneradiotv.com, which is our main website. 1 week from today, the Alien Cosmic Expo will be opening its doors at 10 o'clock in the morning at the Bradford Best Western. Now, I know that many of our listeners live around the world. So Joanne Eady and Heather Masters, the two organizers of this fascinating event, decided to share the event with the world, the main speaker ballroom, the keynote speakers, with the worldwide audience. Pay-per-view is how they're doing it. Now, if you'd like to get all the information on how you can watch Stanton Friedman, Michael Horn, Paul Hellier, let me see, Larry Grant, Leslie Mitchell-Clark, Wes Roberts, just to name a few, go to www.digitalbroadcastnetwork.ca. All the information is there. The broadcast schedule is there. You can either buy specific days or you can buy the entire 3-day Expo PPV broadcast. Once again, www.digitalbroadcastnetwork. And for all the information on attending this great event, www.aliencosmicexpo.com. My guest this hour is Annette Parker, and for many years Annette felt that others had it all and she would never achieve her aspirations. Her experiences in life and business have shown her that this is not truth. She believes everyone is capable of becoming who they are genuinely meant to be. Annette is a proficient person in many forms of energy techniques and is a certified sound therapy coach with the Natural Therapies Board. She is trained in the use of voice analysis hydration system, a certified reflexologist, registered with the RRCO, Reflexology Registration Council of Ontario, and the owner of Subtle Energies. Her website is subtle-energies.webs.com. And joining us now is Annette Parker. Hello, Annette.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks very much for joining us. Now, you're going to be at the Alien Cosmic Expo next week as well. So tell me, what will people be able to to learn from you while you're there?
Well, what I will be showcasing at the expo is the amazing IQ technology that I was introduced to in April of last year. And it was created by Quantum Sound Therapy and is the Canadian side of the kind of the I don't like even calling it organization or company, but Clearly Conscious Living has been traveling across Canada showcasing it and sharing this great technology with the country, and I will be having it there with another practitioner from Burlington, and we will be letting people experience it and getting some of their voice samples if they're interested and talking more about it.
Voice samples. What do you get? What do you read from a voice? Like that's all I do is I talk. And
yeah, well, your voice carries your thoughts, your dreams, your hopes, your desires. Everything about you is in your voice. And what we do is we take a sample of the voice and we run it through a computer program that is actually an award-winning computer program that will then analyze 1.5 billion bits of information and create a 24-minute personal meditation set of frequencies that you listen to on a daily basis to help release those blocks that are holding you back from who you're truly meant to be.
But what if you are who you are truly meant to be? What happens then?
Then it can only improve it.
But what happens if you're perfect, like I am?
Well, I've never been asked that question, and I can honestly say I've never really met anybody that's totally happy and totally perfect. But I've always said the day that I'm perfect is the day that I'll die, because there's always room for improvement. But that's just my opinion.
But you see, this is your first visit to the X Zone.
It is. Yeah. It is, absolutely.
I'm just pulling your leg. I'm just having some fun here. How do you prepare for? How do you prepare for? Or how did you prepare to get into this line of work? Was it just something, or was it part of destiny? Was it synchronicity?
I think it was a little bit of all of that. I did not really prepare for it. I had a colleague of mine who was telling me about these amazing sound therapy people and, come and check this out. And when I share it with people, I just say, you got to come and experience it. You truly have to experience it, because I really don't understand how it works. I just know it does. But back to your original question and so I went to a group session, and Bill and Ann were there. And they sat and they talked about the technology and basically sat there and we experienced it, sat in the scalar energy field of the frequency and experienced it. And after leaving that, we were there about 3 hours, was the full session. We did a voice sample of the group and did a meditation. And after that, it was just like within the next few months, I kept going to groups, and just knew I was very definitely divinely pushed into it. It wasn't something that I just kind of went, hey, this is really cool, I think I'm going to do this. It was, I believe I was pushed from other sources, so to speak, right? Like it just kind of, this was something that I was meant to do, and I truly believe that it's my destiny to now share it with the rest of humanity. And to shift the consciousness and just make everybody as happy as I am.
As a little girl growing up, did you ever think that this is where you would be at this point in your life?
Oh God, hell no.
Well, that didn't that didn't take very much thinking, did it? Oh, hell, God, no.
No.
So tell me, what was it you wanted to be when you were a little girl? Because now you've got my curiosity right up there. I've never had anybody answer a question with, oh, hell, God, no, before.
To be honest with you, when I was a little girl growing up, I really didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know where I was meant to be. I didn't really feel like I fit into this world. I didn't really have a whole lot of aspirations. I'd say probably in the last year and a half since I was introduced to this technology is where a lot of my dreams and my desires and, a lot of clarity came into being. Because before that, it was just I kind of drifted through different jobs, different things. I've done a lot of different things through my life.
You were searching.
Had a lot of different experiences. Pardon me?
You were searching.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of people stay in situations that they hate. But I give kudos to people who keep searching, who keep looking, who keep doing what society says is so wrong. You've got a great job. You've got a future. You've got this. You've got that. You've got a pension. I don't care if you're not happy doing it. I don't care if your hatred for your work ruins your home life. You've got a good job. That's not a way to live anymore.
That's the false. I call those false beliefs, because those are the beliefs of my ancestors. It's like, this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you should be doing. We end up shooting all over ourselves, and I don't like shooting all over myself anymore. And so now I stand in my power.
I would just like to let the Exo Nation say that you were saying shooting all over yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because that is not that is not this type of show where people do the other all over them. Well, wait a second. Hold on.
Which it shouldn't be, yeah.
All right, let's get out of this topic really fast. Tell me about subtle energies.
Okay, subtle energies was when I started my business about 7 years ago, and working with the different with energy work.
Right.
I started off with therapeutic touch and Reiki, and went into heated stone massage, just wanting to help people to feel better. And I always knew that even as a young person, whenever I touched people, I changed things in them. But I didn't understand how. I didn't understand where it came from. I didn't have proper training. And growing up, my parents' belief was, like, my mom says, well, that's devil's work. You can't do that, right? So I was kind of taught that I wasn't allowed to do that. This wasn't right, and there was something wrong with me. But I always knew that I could do it. So then I went in and got different trainings and started the business with subtle energies, and now it keeps morphing into sort of searching, like you said. It keeps morphing into different aspects, and in the last year now it's morphed in with this technology, and kind of feeling now, all right, I think I feel that I've got that firm hold. That foundation has been built, and now it's like, get that house up and get the people in, and just help people feel better. Kind of what I do is I help people find their why. Because that was the thing that I was always working for and searching for in my life, is, why do I do this? Why am I here? Why am I existing? Why do I follow these paths? And, what is it that I really want to be doing? What is it that I really feel I should be doing? So I assist people now through the modalities that I do, through the technology, through personal coaching, sound coaching, and help people find their why.
And it is so sad that is the question that people just don't get answered, is why. They can ask a lot of questions in life, but right now that's the number one question. When someone first comes to you, how do you deal with the apprehension that they might feel? How do you put them to rest that what you're doing is legitimate, it'll help them? How do you do that?
Well, when people come to me, the first thing I do is I sit down and I talk to them. Because for me, I've had people come going, well, what's Reiki? What's this? What's that? And I'll talk to them and I'll explain it. I says, you may not feel comfortable with my energy. Our energies may not click. I'll give you the information. If you feel comfortable, then let's go to the next step. But if not, don't, dismiss it. Because I've had people come say, oh, I've tried Reiki before. It never did anything. Well, maybe it didn't work well as a practitioner. So getting to know the person, sitting down, talking to them, seeing if there is something between us that, find out what it is they're searching for. Find out what it is they're looking for, and actually going to their soul. So the first appointment or the first meeting has nothing to do with doing anything, and answering their questions, making them feel comfortable, because if you're not comfortable, you're not going to get any help. And everything, we have all the answers inside of ourselves. Everything that we need to know about ourselves is inside of ourselves. We just need somebody to help us pull it out.
Okay,
I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, you did. You did. So where do you proceed from that? How do you then get to the next step where you actually start using the energy work on these people?
It all depends on what the person is searching for, and I'll then create a sort of like a plan of, okay, this is what I'm feeling this is what I'm hearing you're saying that you need, this is where you need help. These are my suggestions. We can go this route. Since I am trained in so many different modalities, the number one thing is definitely the sound coaching. After the first session, I would have them come in and do a personal one-on-one sound session through the coaching, talking to them, finding out what's going on in their life, finding out where they want to move forward in. Because when we bring those subjects up into our energy field, we then can have them released. So then by taking that voice sample with that intention in the energy field, will then allow that person to put those tones into their sample that they can listen to, and will help their body clear those blocks that are holding them back. And then the next session could be maybe a energy session like a Reiki or integrative energy therapy, or maybe they need to relax and they need to do some healing, so I may do some reflexology, or we may do a hot stone massage, always in the scalar energy field. I always have the technology running, so the scalar energy field is always there and assisting them to clear and to bring balance. And then the last session, usually I do a 4-session kind of transformational program, so over an 8-week period every 2 weeks. And then at the last session, again, give another set of tones, and then have them, because after the first 8 weeks, they're going to have the first set, and then they'll have their second set of tones, and go from there. And then kind of, if they're interested and they want to continue, then move on to another set of 8. Sometimes it's good. Some people just like to kind of sit back for, a week or 2 or maybe a month and kind of just let things settle. Or they want to fast forward and shift through it depending on where they're at. Everybody's different. I can't use the same, say, okay, this person you do this, this, and this, and this person, everybody does, because everybody's different. So every program for each person is specifically designed for them, along with the tones and the therapies that I do.
Talk to me about scalar energy.
Scalar energy?
Scalar, I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, it's okay. The scalar energy is created by the iCube technology. The iCube technology was created by Robert Loy. It was something that has been actually the 4th time that he's brought this technology to this earth. Right. In this lifetime, it's the first time that, of course, but in other lifetimes he has brought it to the earth, and that's his story, from what I understand and what I'm being told. It is a piece of technology that has a mirror coil inside of it, noble gases, the 5 noble gases, flower essence, gold, and it creates a set of frequencies that he has actually created a set of frequencies that are played through the technology and create the scalar energy field, which is a 0-point energy where there's no, because everything is the same, and so it creates a equality field. And it just, people feel good when they're in it.
How old is this technology, and what can it be used for in all?
In this lifetime?
Yes.
How old is it?
Yeah.
He has been working on this for about 45 years. Robert Loy has been creating it since his first creation of it. What can it be used for? Yeah. It clears the blockages. It clears those things that are holding people back. Like for me, it's brought me motivation. I have seen some of the testimonials that are on like my website, and also Clearly Conscious Energetics. They have testimonies from people who have, experienced it and what it's done for them. One lady, she talks about she had an addiction to potato chips. She always ate junk food, and just by listening to her soul tones, she started shifting how she ate, and she's lost weight. Another gentleman, I don't know the exact amount, he lost a large quantity of weight because it caused him to eat more healthy, to be a little bit more motivated and bringing more self-esteem into himself, so that he'd lost more weight. So everybody's a little bit different. It all depends on what it is that you're seeking, what it is that's holding you back, because once again, everybody is their own unique person.
Big question these days that I ask people who are working in alternative healing methods and alternative medicine is stress. How can people best deal with stress in today's society?
How can people best deal with stress in today's society?
Yeah.
Eliminate the stress.
All right, but if you can't,
how
how can what you do help?
The first thought that comes to my mind is meditation, and the second thought is eliminating the stress. Now, I understand that eliminating the stress is not something that's necessarily easily be done, depending on what the situation is. How does the technology that I use assist with that? Is that your question to me?
Yes.
Okay, so listening to the soul tones, listening to the personal voice sample, because what that will do will bring calmness. Some people will actually get the opposite and will be getting a little bit more agitated when they listen to it. But what it's doing then is it's actually bringing up those things that we don't want to look at. Because in my opinion, that's where a lot of our stresses come from, is because there's things that we don't want to look at it, like the spilled milk, right? There's spilled milk on the counter. I don't want to look at that. I'm not going to clean it up. But after a period of time, that milk's going to go sour and it's going to start to stink. And we're still not going to want to look at it. We'll just open up the window. So with the soul tones, what that'll do is it may bring up some of those things that we don't want to look at. But once we're actually ready to step into it and surrender and say, you know what, I don't need this anymore, and let it go, that's when the peace will come. And when the peace comes, then the stress is be able to be managed.
Who would benefit from this technology?
Anybody.
Really? How about children?
Pardon me?
How about children?
Oh, yes. I have teenage boys, and I did notice a change in them when I first brought my soul tones home, and listening to them on a regular basis drove them crazy, because they're very odd noises. And they're like, Mom, turn that stuff down. What is that? It's giving me a headache. But now they're actually quite used to it. It doesn't bother them at all. Like, their friends will come in and go, what's that noise? And they're like, what noise? Oh, that. Oh, okay, just ignore it, and they'll turn the volume down off of it. It's not a problem. But I did notice a change in my kids let's see, I'm trying to remember the changes now. It's happening so quickly. Being more attentive. One of the stories that I often share with people is one afternoon. My son has been diagnosed with ADHD. Now I do not put him on medication for it, but the doctors and everything say, yeah, he is. Well, he's just a kid, is what he is. He's hyper. He likes to run around. He's full of energy, but he does have difficulty concentrating. So the one afternoon he was here with a friend doing some homework, and I put on what is called the focus program on one of the pieces of technology and just played that. And the purpose of the focus program is, as it says, to help bring focus, to help give your clarity, to help understand what's going on, to be a little bit, less, like as sometimes we say, oh, there was something shiny and kind of distracted me, so take away the distraction.
Sure.
And they actually sat there for 2 or 3 hours and did their homework. And I asked him afterwards, I said, did you notice anything? He says, yeah, actually, I noticed that I was more focused. I was able to concentrate. It was a lot easier to do this, where, usually I don't sit here for 2 or 3 hours doing the same subject. So it definitely does help children. We have some teenagers who will come in and just hold on to. We have a new piece of technology now. It's called the Pocket iCube, which is a portable, and it helps people. Some people, I says, okay, when I give it to them, they go, wow, what's this? This is really cool. Can I ever feel this? And other people go, what is this piece of plastic? It weighs a lot. You would want me to hang on to this? So there's the different reactions. But a lot of times we get teenagers in, and they don't want to let it go, because all of a sudden they get into that scalar field and they feel safe. And they all of a sudden, because they feel different for whatever the reasons being of their, why they feel different. It could be because they're mediums, or they could be psychics, and they're not familiar on how to talk with their friends and their family about it.
Sure.
And all of a sudden they become into a scalar field, and it's like, I feel somewhat normal. I can relax. I can be with these other people, and they won't let go of the technology. So definitely it's great for kids, especially with the new generations that's coming into our world now. And I have my 83-year-old mother.
Oh, God
she
bless her.
She listens to her soul tones. And I find that it gives her a little bit more energy. I have my ex-mother-in-law who also listens to her soul tones, that has helped her with pain. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to help everybody with pain or, different things like that. Like, I'm not professing that it cures anything. But there have been results with different people in different areas. And everybody's a little bit different, so it will be different for each person who uses it.
Now, can individuals and or groups come in for sessions?
We do group sessions. Like, I will have once the second Friday of every month in Waterloo at the Awaken Wellness Center. I have group events where people can come in and experience the technology in a group environment. There's no pressure or anything like that. Just come in for 2-3 hours, and we sit down and we talk about it. There's people there who have either the technology or just kind of come and hang out in the frequency field. So that's one way of doing it, or doing it at a single one-on-one session where you would come in and I would do similar, like a little bit of coaching, talk to you about what's going on, to bring that up into your energy field. We would take a voice sample, create a personal CD, and then you would have the experience of listening to your own personal tones through the technology, and that would be a one-on-one sample, one-on-one session.
Now, do people have to buy this equipment afterwards to continue?
Not necessarily. Just the soul tones. That's the only thing. There's people that never purchase the technology, and all they do is listen to the tones. Like the first 6 months or so, that's all I did. And I just watched how it affected me, how I felt, how I changed. I know people who have been listening to only tones for, well, I've been involved with it for just over a year now, and that's all they do is they listen to the tones. So purchasing the technology is not necessary. Just getting your own personal soul tones, because that's where the shift is going to happen. That's where it's releasing your blockages. I just happen to love the technology and want to share it, so that's why I purchased it.
So when you're telling people that all they have to do is buy their own soul tones, are you talking about the CDs that they go home with?
Absolutely. Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of the... I'm sorry, go ahead. You work with frequencies.
I was just going to say, we work with frequency and energy in 3 different ways. One way is with the sound of your voice. Second way is with the technology, and we also work with structured water, because the body needs that hydration so that it can able to process and also to absorb nutrients into the body. A lot of the water that we drink carries memory, and we work with we have structured water. So in your personal one-on-one session, you also get a bottle of water, structured water with a frequency, your own personal frequencies embedded in it.
What happens if people need more water? Do they just go to you and you supply them with the properly frequenced water?
Myself or another practitioner, yes.
So tell me about some of the better success stories that you've had.
Well, the better success stories. One of the
I'll just preface why I said it that way, because I'm sure you have many, many success stories, but I want to hear the ones that our listeners will just say, "Holy cow!" You know, that aha moment.
Yeah, I hear you. The one that comes to mind when you ask me that question is, I had a client, when I first got the technology, I would bring it in for my reflexology clients, and I would just have it in the room. And I didn't say much about it, didn't talk much about it, it was just there. And I had this one client that was coming on a regular basis and had been in several different sessions, was coming about every 2 weeks for about 2 months. And this client walked in the one day and looked at me, and I looked at this person, and I says, "What's going on?" And they proceeded to tell me what was happening in their life, and it was like their life was falling apart. They were about to lose everything, totally depressed, didn't know which way was going to happen, what was going on. Just it was like, wow, I'm really happy. That kind of makes you feel good that your life isn't so bad when you hear these stories. It was kind of one of those stories. So I just said to the person, I said, "Well, come on down. Let's get you some reflexology. Let's get you relaxed at least, so they can keep moving on." Did the session of reflexology. The client looks at me afterwards and says, "What is so different about this session? Why is this session so different? What did you do? I can just ask me questions." And I looked at them and went, "Well, why? What are you talking about?" He says, "While I was laying here, it was like the entire world was lifted off my shoulders. And all the stress and tension was totally relieved from my body. And I now feel like I can step out of here, go make the calls that I need to make, take care of the situations. I feel like I've empowered. I feel like I'm strengthened. I feel like there's no problems. Like when I walked in here an hour ago, I felt like my world was falling apart. Now I feel I can go out and fix it. What's the difference?" And then I proceeded to tell them about the technology being in the room.
Now that
would be one of my probably one of my biggest success stories, You know, it was like that. Like, they knew that please don't get me wrong, they knew that I had the technology there, and I explained it to them, but it wasn't what I was. They were there for the reflexology. They were not there for the technology. They knew that it was there, but then I said, well, this is the technology that I was telling you about. This is what's happened. This is what it does. And they're like, wow, that's just amazing. I don't know what that is. I don't know how it works, but that is amazing. And the person did go down in the next 48 hours and called me back about 2 days later and says, you know what, I just feel great. You know, like, whatever that is, I just feel great.
Would this technology also work on pets?
I would say yes, because it's a living thing. It works on pets, it works on plants, it works on everything, in my opinion, and from what I've seen. As I got introduced to this a year ago, April, so I don't have, I'll be honest with you, I don't have a whole lot of success stories and a whole lot of my plants. I don't have a green thumb, and actually there's quite a few plants in my house right now that is amazingly haven't died. So I would say yes, it works on plants. There are many success stories and testimonials if you're looking for something like that on the Clearly Conscious Energetics website, because they've been doing this for about 7 or 8 years in Canada, and they've got lots of stories. I'm still building my story portfolio.
Now, you're here in, I believe, Kitchener-Waterloo area?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we've got listeners around the world. How can they find a practitioner that has the same equipment that you have, that they can get the same results that we've been listening to you tell us that you can do?
The 2 different websites that I would recommend or suggest that they go to would be, one would be Bill and Ann's at clearlyconsciousenergetics.ca. That would be their website, and then the actual founder of the organization, which is Quantum Sound Therapy. I don't know if I have. Let me just Google those quickly to get those. I wasn't expecting that question. I don't have.
You know what?
Answer.
You and I have got to take you and I have to take a commercial break anyway. So while we're on break, why don't you find that, and we'll be able to give it to the listeners when we come back. Does that sound like a plan? Alrighty. Exonation, my guest this hour is a young lady that we're talking to, Annette Parker. Her website is subtle-energies.webs.com. And Annette and I will be back on the other side of this very short commercial break as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, and around the world on the Starcom Radio Network and, of course, the X Zone Broadcast Network. Don't go away.
Is an expert in exorcisms, psychic warfare, soul healing, angelology, soul retrieval, demonology, energy healing, long-distance healing, astral healing, and much more. Nita is an interfaith minister because she believes all gods and goddesses are valid and that they are part of one divine force that is incomprehensible to us who are incarnated upon this earth. Nita has been doing astral healing, distant healing, spirit release, exorcism, house cleansing and blessings, soul restoring and revival, psychic vampire removal and curse removal, and much more for over 40 years. For more information or to contact Nita Hickok, visit her website at www.astralhealer.com. That's www.astralhealer.com.
I'm William S. Peckham. If you enjoy a good mystery with a touch of the paranormal, then you'll love my novel, From Out of the Woodwork. It's the story of a young Toronto contractor, Sean Kennedy, who buys derelict homes, guts them, and turns them into multifamily dwellings. Slums just waiting to happen. When Sean buys 29 Livery Lane, the house fights back. Former owners unexpectedly come out of the woodwork as he starts the destruction. The apparitions come to him when he touches old books, reads hidden letters, rummages through old boxes, finds a locket or reads a discovered manuscript of a murder mystery. From Out of the Woodwork will take you from 1899 to the horror of the World Trade Center, September 11, 2001. Check out From Out of the Woodwork on my website, www.williamspeckham.com.
My name is Michael Telstar, Canada's leading mentalist from Toronto, Ontario.
Hi, my name is Splenda, and you're listening to my dad, Rob McConnell, on the X-Zone.
This is Psychic Dorothy from St. Catharines, and you're listening to Rob McConnell.
Hello, my name is Holly Reeves, an astrologer from Astro For You, and you're listening to Canada's #1 paranormal radio show, The X-Zone, with Rob McConnell.
Welcome to The X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the X-Zone. I am Rob McConnell. My guest this hour is Annette Parker. Her website is subtle-energies.webs.com. First of all, Annette, I want to thank you so much for joining us here in the X-Zone tonight. Fascinating topic. And why do you think so many people today are seeking alternative healing and breaking away from the established Western medical practitioners and, big pharma?
Sorry, when you started asking that question, I started laughing, going, can I really answer that?
Sure you can.
Why do I think people are breaking away? Because it's so many people have found that the society today, we are looking for that quick fix.
Yes.
And we're realizing that quick fix really isn't the answer. And the quick fix is causing more problems. You know, like you take a drug and they say, oh yeah, you've got this problem here, take this drug and this will help that. But then you look at the side effects and it's like the side effects or the possible side effects are are worse than the actual reason you're taking the drug. So there has to be another way. And that's where people are searching for, is that other way. They're searching and seeking.
Do you think they're finding it, though?
If we look in the right places, I believe everything is possible to be found.
Yeah. But what happens, if somebody is on a program that they've been on by a doctor, a medical doctor, is there any way that these alternative sessions or alternative methods could actually work against the condition that the person is being treated by the medical community, that could make them worse instead of better?
I can't really answer that question. I can give my opinion, but my opinion isn't fact, and that is getting into a little bit of territory that I'm a little bit uncomfortable speaking about because of the legalities involved with it. When someone is on, like if I have a client come to me who's on a medical program with a doctor, I do not say this will cure this. Don't listen to the doctor. Not at all. That you're on a medical. I'm not a medical doctor.
Sure.
I don't know what's going on with you. What the alternative therapies do is they assist. They're complementary therapies to the medical practice. So they work along with the therapies that you're being followed with your doctor. Depending on what the condition is and what therapy you're using would depend on how I would answer that question. Like if someone comes to me and they're getting treated for varicose veins and they want a hot stone massage, a hot stone massage could cause reaction with the varicose vein. So the practitioner should be knowledgeable enough to understand what therapy can work or what modality can work and what modality can harm. So that's a very broad question to be asking. You need to know more of the specifics involved. Again, it kind of goes back to everybody's different depending on what it is they're seeking for.
What does the medical community say about what the alternative healers are doing?
It all depends on which person you speak with.
Really?
Some medical communities will say, well, I've had some doctors totally say that stuff is, forget it. There's no scientific proof, which is now starting to be the opposite, but there's no scientific proof that works. Where I've had other medical doctors say that, you know what, that is a really good idea. I had one client who actually came to me that their doctor, they had been in a car accident. And the doctor says, well, do you have coverage for massage? And they says, no, I don't, but I do have access to someone who does heated still massage. They were talking about an RMT, registered massage therapist.
Right.
And they says, but I know someone who does Reiki and who does heated still massage. And the doctor says, go see her for Reiki. It will help.
Wow.
So some doctors are okay with it. Some doctors aren't. I've personally been to a doctor where she said, I went in for a sinus infection. She says, I can give you some steroids for it, or you can go use an Eddie pot. So it's a kind of a mixed match, depending on the practitioner, depending on the medical practitioner that you're dealing with.
With being in such a new field, that the public is just becoming aware of the many wonderful alternatives that they have. So how would the public know where to go, which ones to go to, who to listen to, who not to listen to, who's credible, who's not credible, if they don't have the licensing commissions and the different various professional organizations to fall back on for this information?
Oh, well, there are professional organizations, depending on, for myself, the Reflexology Council of Ontario. There is the Reiki Association, the Reiki Council.
No, I don't mean to be disrespectful here. I don't mean to be.
That's right. No, but I'm just saying there are certain associations for some of the practitioners.
Right, but how do you get the public to understand that you are as professional as the doctor who's gone through so many years of college, so many years of residence, so many years of this, that, and the other thing? How do you explain the difference in credibility? That's what I'm getting at.
Okay. Wow, very good question. Very good question. Again, when a client comes to me, I share with them the different courses that I've taken, and especially with the modalities, it's finding a person that you resonate with, finding a practitioner. I'm not about to say, yes, you have to come to me. It's finding someone that you're comfortable with. And word of mouth, is for myself and other people that I know, is how do people find out about me? Is word of mouth. So and so came to see you for this, and they said you were really good. I'd like to try it. This is what I'm finding out. I don't really try to tell the public, yes, this is. I'm not sure how to go about answering that question.
All right, let me ask you this question: how do you deal with skepticism?
Everybody has an opinion. If you're a skeptic, then you don't want to see me, right? I'm not going to try to convince somebody that this is what you're supposed to do. Everybody has their own path and their own journey. I was very skeptic about many different things. 10 years ago, I used to walk into psychic fairs and say, you know what, these people are all crazy. They're all hoaxes. All they want is my money. Actually longer than 10 years ago. But now, I actually do readings. So I have become a believer from being a skeptic.
All right, let me ask you this.
I actually do it.
Let me ask you this. What changed your mind? What turned you from skeptic to believer?
What turned... Oh, I like that one. What turned me... Basically my journey. Because of the fact that I was seeking and changing and realizing that this had happened and that had happened. It all goes back to my entire journey. If I was to tell you the whole story, along with it. But if I had to synopsize it, I would say the journey and just the journey and the seeking, knowing that, you know what, this isn't working. This medical stuff isn't working with my experiences that had happened with me and realizing, there's something to this.
Yeah, what I've learned with many of the traditional medical and big pharma prescriptions is they just mask the problem. They make you feel better. The problem is still there. It's just that you can't feel it.
The Band-Aid effect.
Exactly.
That's what I call it.
Yeah, exactly.
And the fact, too, is that's what I often say to my clients, too. Says, well, okay, you come in here first. I'll use Reiki as an example.
Yeah.
You come in for Reiki, you come for one session, and you expect it to heal you. That's because you're used to going to a doctor who gives you a pill that takes away the pain. How long did it take before this injury or this problem come here? Did it just happen overnight? Probably take a year or two to develop. So do you think it's going to be fixed in one session? It's not going to take a year or two probably to repair it or to minimize it or to do whatever it is that the therapy will do, but it's going to take time. And we have the mentality in our civilization, and with the Western world, that take a pill, it takes away the pain. It's the Band-Aid effect, but it's not getting to the core issue. And each modality may not get to the core issue. Like I've gone to I've worked with different people where, they come to me for Reiki, and then that gets to a certain level, and then it's like, all right, you know what, you need to go a little bit deeper. Either I can help you with one of my other modalities, or I'll refer them out to another practitioner saying, this is what I'm feeling you need to work with. Perhaps you want to go and check this person out, or that person, or find somebody who does this modality, or that specializes in this, area.
Would you recommend the profession of, what do you call yourself, an energy healer?
Energy healer, spiritual sound coach. It depends on which hat I'm wearing.
All right.
Now I'm working, energy healer. I will go with that, because it is working with energy. It's working. I transform people's lives through energy, so yeah.
Right. So would you recommend this as a profession for someone who is seeking to get into the healthcare profession?
It would all depend on their journey. It would depend on their journey. Would I recommend it? I would have to talk to the person to see if it's something that if it's what they're really seeking. Because I've spoken with some people who talked to me and going, oh, I want to take this course. I'm like, well, why do you want to take this course? Perhaps they want to take it, they want to maybe go more into massage therapy. It all depends, again, it's on the individual. Each person is different. Each person is individual. What is your purpose? What is your why? Why do you want to do this?
I understand.
It's been a struggle, but for me, it's been a struggle. There's no question about it. But the struggle has taught me lots of lessons, and those lessons are how I'm now able to assist people in shifting their consciousness today.
The time is going by so fast. But what is the message that you would like to give the listening audience of the X-Zone Nation around the world?
The message is: stay true to your heart, live in love, and release those things that are no longer serving you. Determine what they are and just let them go.
Once again, tell our listeners what they can learn and what you'll be offering at the Alien Cosmic Expo in Brantford at the Best Western next weekend, June 26, 27, 28.
Myself and another practitioner will be showcasing the iCube technology, where you'll have an opportunity to come and actually experience it, sit down and have a set of headphones, listening to some frequencies. You'll also be able to have the opportunity to pick up your own set of soul tones, and we will have the water there also for purchasing. But we'll be able to talk to you, share with you our experiences, other people's experiences, and just be in the scalar field.
I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been a great pleasure. I wish you much success. And let our listeners know how they can find you on the Internet, as well as, where can they come and actually get treated by you?
They can find me on the Internet at subtle-energies.webs.com. I'm also on Facebook under Subtle Energies. We were talking earlier too about people in the greater Canada area, so quantumsoundtherapy.com or clearlyconscious.ca will have testimonials, and you can contact them for practitioners in your area. And for myself, I'm in Kitchener-Waterloo, and it's subtle-energies.webs.com.
It's that simple, X-Zone Nation. It is that simple. Annette, thank you very much for joining us. I look forward to meeting you next weekend.
Likewise. Thank you for chatting with me.
You take care now. Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye-bye, sweetie. Another interesting lady who's going to be at the Alien Cosmic Expo that's being held in Brantford, Ontario, just down the street from Hamilton now, whether you're in Windsor, Ontario, London, Ontario, whether you're in Kitchener, Waterloo, Toronto, the greater Toronto area, Burlington, Ontario, Mississauga, Oakville, right here in Hamilton. Or if you go down the QEW, Grimsby, Vineland Station, Stony Creek, St. Catharines, Niagara-on-the-Lake, Niagara Falls, Ontario, Niagara Falls, New York, Chippewa, Fort Erie, Welland, Port Colborne, Dunnville, wherever. It's a very small drive, short drive, to the Alien Cosmic Expo. Now, on their website, you will have all the information that you need to understand why this is going to be a great event. This is truly the start of something great. Their website is www.aliencosmicexpo.com. That's www.aliencosmicexpo.com. Now, if you can't make it because you live far away, but you would still like to listen to some of the great speakers who are going to be there, and they include Michael Telstar, Dr. Georgina Cannon, Michael Horn, Stanton T. Friedman, the grandfather of ufology. They're just some of the many speakers that will be there. www.digitalbroadcastnetwork.ca. You'll be able to be in your home, in your car, on the beach, on the road, wherever. As long as you have access to the internet, you can take part in the Alien Cosmic Expo keynote speaker pay-per-view from anywhere in the world on this pay-per-view event. I want to thank Steve Turner at IM Systems and Simul TV and Nick Sebastian for helping with the technical part of this. And of course, the technical producer and director of the X-Zone and rel-mar, and he is the owner of airplaymedia.ca, Steve Benedict, who was the director of the X-Zone TV show that is now going into its second season of production. This guy is a genius. We have assembled the very best in the industry to bring you the very best speakers, the people that people want to listen to, the people who have an important message to give you, the members of the worldwide X-Zone Nation. Once again, the website is www.digitalbroadcastnetwork.ca. That's for the pay-per-view. For all the information you'll be looking for about the Alien Cosmic Expo, www.aliencosmicexpo.com. I want to thank all our guests tonight, and I want to thank you, the members of the worldwide listening X-Zone Nation who are listening to us on Starcom Radio Network and X-Zone Broadcast Network. What I'd like to do now is our final song from a gentleman who is called Philip Ramblin' Jack Marlborough. This guy has brought together some of the best music that I have heard when it comes to the strange, the weird, the bizarre, monsters, myths, and mysteries. I'd like to play a cut from his newest album, and this is entitled, let me see, which one are we going to play, Craig? We're going to play, ready for this, X-Zone Nation? The Bigfoot Boogie. I'll be back on the other side of this song. Don't go away. All right, Craig, let's play it for our listeners.
Out in the swamps, what you think I've seen? Something strange, you know. Sasquatch sitting on the cypress knee, and he was talking to Moccasin Joe. Well, the party they gonna have out in the St. John swamps. Sasquatch doing a brand new dance, and they called it the Bigfoot Stomp. Do the Bigfoot boogie, yeah, the Bigfoot boogie. Ain't nothing but a Sasquatch dancing around to do the Bigfoot. partying all over the place. Oh, get a ride feed, a riding his bow, and ate a beat jamming with Moccasin Joe. A Sasquatch doing the brand new dance, the Bigfoot boogie and the Paraloo land. Do the Bigfoot boogie, yeah, the Bigfoot boogie. Ain't nothing but a Sasquatch dancing around it. Do the Bigfoot boogie and the Paraloo ground. Get it, boy. Last night to a terrible sound, well, a whole lot of noise, something shaking the ground. I crept in the swamp where they were getting down. Do the Bigfoot boogie and the Paraloo ground. Do the Bigfoot boogie, yeah, the Bigfoot boogie. Doing the Bigfoot boogie in the St. John's swamps. Eddie the Lizard be a beating the drums, yeah, old Moccasin George, he's running his gum. Stan the Snake, he's a playing the bass, and they beat partying all over the place. Yeah,